Okay, we're live. Hey, welcome everybody to our micro moment trading podcast and slash CSC podcast. Welcome. This is Wednesday, the 21st, 10 a.m. And we got all our group here. We got Randy, we got Micah, we got Tim, we got myself. And we had a good day today in our micro moment trading. We had so far in the first session, 15.66% over 5 trades. And so by the time I moved it, they carried over yesterday from the second session yesterday, it ended up being, 38% total for the week. And we've averaged over the last year, over the last 55th week, over the last 54 weeks as of last Friday, we've averaged 98.90% a week. So we got a shot in distance, 20, 22, 23 points of hitting 100% this week because we have tomorrow. And so really, guys, I think y'all are doing a fantastic job considering that, that's a long time, 54 weeks. And we're right on average. So our average per day. That's really good. Really good. Let's just start off.
Hat day here.
Huh? Yeah, half day. Yeah.
This is baseball day.
Yeah. Well, he's hot and ready. He's ready to go. He didn't know when they're going to be able to do it yet because of the virus. But maybe because I think that they've set the NFL, I think, and baseball is this summer. Have they set any regular baseball games yet?
No, they were shooting for like the July timeframe, but I haven't heard if they've actually started spring training yet.
Yeah. Okay. I want to mention everybody if you want to ask us something, any of us specifically, or get a grand total of all of us answer the same question. Just type it in to your computer there. It'll pop up. We'll see it, and we'll see up in the little live comments over here, and we can answer your questions. So let's start off with Micah. Micah had a great SPY trade today. Made so the only 5 trades he made. He had an even one, and then he had a 4.720, which is a great trade. And then Tim rounded out with a couple of good QQQ trades. Anyhow, 15.66 you had yesterday's. I carried over. It ended up being 18 something, and then about 78% or so total for the week. So, Micah, what's your wisdom today?
Just keep following the charts. Don't change a damn thing.
What were the markets doing today? That because we had people, including yourselves, people, our clients. When they do these seminars, they do them every morning, and then sometimes in the afternoon, and they last about an hour, almost precisely an hour. Sometimes they'll run over 15 minutes. They start at 8:30 Central Time. It's when the market opens, and it's the seminar. What you see on the screen, you see the chart. This chart that we have, we spent $1 billion for it. It tells you exactly and precisely when to get into these trades and when to get out. And they're doing those, and they're talking about doing it. And they're doing it with real money. And so you just follow them and you learn it. You can follow their trades if you want to, but the important thing is you learn how to do this. And but anyhow, for the clients that they're tuned to that in the question box, they're popping up their returns. I just made 7 cents. I just made 2 cents. I just made, 50 cents, whatever, and what it was made on. And it was just incredible. It started early today until we ended up. We had, we ended a little early on this podcast day, and they're all just making, including our guys. So it was a real good day. Now tomorrow is what we call Friendly Friday. And that's because on Friendly Friday, we open up the phone lines. So you don't know, you can type in a question, but also if you want to just speak to us, everybody hears you and we hear you. And it's a lot less hassle than have to type in a bunch of words on the question box. So we're looking forward to tomorrow. So, Michael, what you think tomorrow's going to be? I thought today was pretty good. The day before, you guys didn't have anything in the first session. Today you had
It took a minute to get moving. There was hardly any gap today, which is odd for the current market. Usually there's, a 200 to 500 point gap every day. So we opened almost exactly where we closed. So it caused a lot of weirdness on SPY. Q normalized very quickly, but SPY's Bollinger Bands chart was just a little funky. So we couldn't really do much today. It was really bouncy, but a couple great down pushes after we got off. So the market itself has been honestly acting pretty healthy, which is strange. But it's given, and I don't mean that in an up or down sense. I mean consolidating, and then it pushes, and then it consolidates, and it pushes just like it should. It's not so random. Every movement is a gigantic push. So I think we're stabilizing for now as far as the market goes. But
well, what I can tell from CNBC, what you say is exactly right. Why was it up? I mean, it's I don't know. I don't have my quote thing on right now, but when we started this, so 30 minutes ago, it was up. It was positive again, and it was really up good. And the question they ask is, why is it always good like this? Exactly what you said. It didn't make any sense with these prices. But what we deal on, though, we deal on the volatility. We don't deal on. We're not concerned if before the market opens, if it's up, down, or going sideways. It doesn't make one bit of difference to us because we just want people to trade stocks. If they're losing money trading, hey, we're making money. If they're making money, we're making money because we're trading the volatility. And so we're never in a stock for more than probably maybe 35 seconds or something like that. If we are, it's too long, and you ought to be out. We try to limit our losses to less than 1%, and these two guys are extremely good at it. And so that's working out good. And oh boy, we got a bunch of questions over here now in the question box. So anyhow, it's been a good day, and we're ending up the 55th week since we made the service a subscription service. Prior to that, we've had it for several years, and we were just developing it and developing the charting and doing all that kind of stuff. So Tim, now everybody watch Tim's eyes. I always have to tell everybody at the start of this each time because he's got these kind of creepy eyes actually, and you never know what he's trying to do is a deal. He does deals over there, when his eyes are moving like that. And have you done one yet?
No, I missed that last downturn that Mike had just mentioned. So keeping my eyes, we're kind of pushing down here. Mike and I were in absolute sync on that downturn earlier. Both entered and exit almost nearly at the same time. It was cool. Yeah, I mean, like Mike said, we're getting more normal volatility in the options fluctuations, which is great for us, and starting to see a pickup in volume earlier in the day. Having no gap this morning set up some interesting things. Took a while to kind of figure out what it was. Q kind of figured itself out a little earlier than SPY, but set up for some nice push downs, and it's slowly pushing down now. A little slow for our taste, but still in all it is. Microsoft's pushing down nicely. Anyway, got a couple of good trades in this morning. We'll probably be back this afternoon and try to catch a couple of sell-offs if they happen this afternoon, but we're liking what we're seeing.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's switch over to Randy, and then we'll get to the questions. Randy, I know you've had one heck of a trade today. What was that trade? How long did it last?
Oh yeah, I followed along also with Micah's and Tim's technique, although I do SPX. But my trade for this morning was 8.9% return on SPX, and
Nice.
I think that was about I think that was about 2 minutes right after the open.
You're not supposed to be in one that long, Randy. However, you're covered calls. You're used to it, right?
Right. I can. Yeah, SPX you can do a little bit longer term. You don't have to get in and out in five seconds, but 2 minutes is kind of a long time. But
8% of those higher prices. How much did you make per contract? What was the entry?
$1.30. It was $1.30.
$1.30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Then I did a quick one. It was only 30 cents profit, 1.8% return.
Yeah.
So those are.
Randy.
Yeah. So those are the two micro moment trading, but that's that's just kind of my side gig there. It's
Yeah.
my normal thing is covered calls, and you know, Joe, we just came off of just a fantastic 2-day covered call seminar this weekend. Had huge turnout there and fantastic questions. And Tim and Mike actually joined in and talked about micro moment trading at that time. That was really great.
Okay.
I hate to interrupt, but more like Randy. See, Randy's side thing gives him 9% a day. So be like Randy. The little side thing is just 9%. Like, it's not, you know.
Yeah.
And what Randy does, Randy has daily seminars. In fact, he has multiple daily seminars. He's got this seminar and that seminar. He's got all kinds of different days. If you go to our website, micromomenttrading.com or Compound Stock Earnings, you're going to find the schedules and how you sign up for those seminars and all about them. And you also get the free cow report from those sites in micromoment.com and compoundstockearnings.com. And the cow report comes out every Friday. And you see exactly what people are doing. They recast all the trades they've done all week. You can see them there, see if you missed any. And when they do these, all three of these gentlemen will tell you, I'm prepping this QQQ or SPY or whatever it is. And then you get your computer ready, or you watch on the chart and they say, I'm entering it. You know exactly precisely what they're entering because they tell you, and you can see it on your chart. The key is learning this stuff off the chart, but it's easier when they say it also, in case you're following. And so that's what they'll do. Randy, again, he's all week, every day of the week, but different seminars, different times of the day. Micah and Tim are 5 days a week for about an hour in the morning. Maybe an hour in the afternoon. There you go. Anyhow, again, let me write because people can do it here, type in these questions, so I'll start getting to them. Type them in, they pop right up on the screen. Everybody can see your question. This is Frank, new to MMT and to Thinkorswim platform that I have my account with. Any suggestions on learning how to make our entries and exits in TOS? Mike, Tim?
Yep. Yeah. I've got a couple of suggestions. First, on your TOS platform, one of the tabs says education. If you go there, you'll find a tab saying, I want to trade options and futures. Open that up and watch that. TOS has a great education center and learning center. It's really complete. So I would start there. Now, specifically what we do, and I put out a video yesterday in the chat box that shows you how I set up my platform, a simple 3-screen platform that I use with the option. I trade off the option chain primarily. Being brand new, I'd like you to learn how to set up a bracket order with a stop at -6 and a limit at +4. We put out a video sometime last year that shows exactly how to do that. I'm not sure where that is right now, but I really would like you to learn how to do stops first. But I've whittled it down to really the simplest way to get in and get out of a trade, which is I shift click on the ask and get my trade in immediately. And immediately after putting it in, as soon as I see that position little box on that strike line, I right click on that and put in my sell to close and set my price and put that order in so it's in the queue. And that's the simplest way I found. But what we recommend to all new operators is learn how to set up a bracket, learn how to use stops. Okay, you got to be able to build up that ability to get out of trades that turn quickly. Okay, I hope that helps.
Okay, here's another question. Is Freaky Friday available to anybody? It does sound kind of creepy, doesn't it? It's available to everybody that subscribes to that service. And on that platform, which is GoTo Meetings, we see everybody's name that's in the service at that time, and they can unmute. They can mute and unmute themselves with a little hand on Freaky Friday. And we see a little hand pop up. We unmute you, and you can talk as long as you want, whatever you want to talk about. And everybody that belongs to that service can attend Freaky Friday. So thank you, Frank. Appreciate you. Dr. J says hi. These are secretive people.
Our official name for that is Friendly Friday, right?
Oh, Friendly Friday? How do I get freaky out of it?
Frankly Friday.
Frankly Friday.
Frankly Friday. You mean it's not Freaky Friday? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'll correct that.
Frankly
We also
Friday.
have a note that says Dr. J says hi, and all these abbreviations. OB1, is that a Q? Yeah, it's OB1. Says good morning, everybody from sunny South Florida. Tim wishes he's down there. Marion says morning. Martha says thanks, Tim and Micah, for your compassionate teaching and patience in answering our questions. Now, for everybody, Martha's a really fantastic client, makes incredible amounts of money. And, but, you know, she's kind of romantic and she kind of says like passion, puts those kind of words into her questions and answers. She's also a cheerleader. Every time somebody does good, she does have a little cheer and twists and turns and flips over. Frank, new to MMT and to Thinkorswim. Oh, we've already done that one, I think.
Yeah,
Frank.
we did that.
Yeah, okay. Here's another Frank. It's Freaky Friday. You know, it's Friendly Friday, Frank. And everybody subscribes to service. Another Frank is the morning session only for 1 hour. The morning session is for 1 hour. Sometimes if it's really, really active and they'll get like do 5, 6 trades a day, 5 trades, I think. And sometimes they have 8 or 9 or 10 and they'll be talking all over each other. Now it may in some instances go over. It never goes past 9:45 a.m. In the morning because they pretty well get everything in. And it depends on how busy it is. And then at that point, it goes that they terminate that moment. You know, the screen stays up, the platform stays up, and the charts disappear, and a big white space comes on, but you're still in there. So when you get a notice, if you're notified by your cell phone, a text message, if they're coming back, and that's assuming you've let Sue Ann in our office know your name and your phone number, and they give you plenty of time to get back, and you're already signed in. So it's really, really cool service that they're doing. And obviously their returns are averaging close to 100% a week. In some cases over that sometimes. Edward, Joe, you scolded me yesterday for trading outside the rules by holding my position. Oh, Michael, you're in trouble again. By holding my position for 2 minutes in the opening market. Lucky it worked for me. My own stupidity is the hardest part for me to overcome. Well, and then look what happened. Look, we came in. First, I gave you a lecture, right? And then Micah comes on and gives you a long lecture. Then about 15, 20 seconds later, he does a trade. And he loses 4% on it. Exactly what you did. Now, and so we were both embarrassed. We had to come back for a second session that day, and he just burned it up. I mean, he just, produced all kinds of returns in his second session. Marion says, welcome.
Yeah, I do want to say something. It is part of it, man. Like overcoming your mind. That's like more than teaching, because people think we teach them this technique, right? But the technique is really simple. It really is. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I'm not undermining anybody's efforts. It is complicated if you've never seen anything about options. You don't get it, understanding the world. But if you're a trader, the technique itself is so simple. Anyone with experience trading. So your mind doesn't work like that, right? It has to overcome something. So if you're like all of the problems all of our clients have been self-created. People, like a lot of our clients have blown up their accounts. Like this is a service we teach and sell, right? And I'm telling you, they blow up their accounts because it's too simple. This happened probably 5 or 6 times, Tim included. It's too simple. They think it's too simple, so they try to improve upon it. They get cocky, they blow up their account, they go back to basics, and then they grow their account. That's how it works,
Almost
a lot of the time.
It's
a simple process to blow up your account.
Yeah. Where Randy has multiple rules because he's buying stock and buying leaps and renting them, and he might keep the same stock or leap for years. Who knows? He's been doing this with us 15, 16 years. And so he has lots of rules. So that you make money every month based on what you paid for something or its current market value, whichever's higher. And it's just fantastic, but there are a lot of rules. Where these guys are in and out, tremendous leverage, probably I don't know, 95% leverage because they're not using margin. That's a loan. You get margin from your broker, and you pay a lot of interest. It's dangerous, but they're in and out using the options. And when the thing should work 100% of the time based on the chart. The chart's right, but the things change in split seconds. And if they see that what they're supposed to sell something turn red, they're out. They get out, and most time they're out in less than a second. But that's the key. Now, a lot of people will say, it's going to turn. It's going to turn. It's going to turn. And then it'll turn properly and say, we'll wait some more. I'm going to let go higher. And it'll turn on them in a second. You don't do that. You get out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cents, whatever it is. A huge return, no matter how you look at it.
Mary, yeah, another one.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Joe, and to back that up, it was on this push down, right? But it fluctuated for just a second. So it was 1 cent. I got in at 231. It was just hesitating for a moment. I got in at 230, hesitating for a moment, got out at 231. Within 3 minutes, it was to 255. Doesn't matter, right? We just hop out because it can go to 215 just as fast. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Marion is our welcome committee.
Marion,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was going to say, I mean, keep in mind the very nature of what we do is quick trades, right? That's just what we do. So by nature, we don't stay in these long at all. And that you just have to obliterate that thought that it'll come back. It just doesn't most of the time.
Okay. Marion, I say she's our welcoming committee. She says, welcome newcomers. Is this your first, move my mouse, is this your first entry into all things CSE? You owe it to yourself to stay plugged in and learn everything. Marion, again, guys talk about it will literally change your life in a phenomenal, better way. Thank you, Marion. I know it has yours. Marion just is really prolific. She's almost as good as Martha, or they're equal. Marion says, you're sitting pretty tall, Micah. Did you get a new chair?
No. Same squeaky one. Can you hear it?
Same squeak. Okay. Frank says, thanks so much, Tim. Pat, I think Micah said he was working on an intro video. When might we be able to see it?
Yeah, it's out of my hands at this point. It is with your view. Well, the PowerPoint it's going to be a PowerPoint presentation, just digital. So it's out of my hands at this point, but as soon as possible. Whenever anybody asks for it, I do send them a couple of the slides from it, which is the terminology legend. When I say intro, guys, this is it's meant to just be the basics. So I tell you, the yellow line is called the tick, and that's the price. The white line is called M1. That's the type of information it is. And I just send images to people like a legend for a map. So.
Okay. Marion says, Freaky Friday is your own personal Freudian slip, Joseph. Now Marion's been with us as long as Randy, I believe. Long time. Brian says, Micah, I'm sure you're familiar with some subscription services where games sign up to watch some experts play computer games. Is that right?
Say that again.
Brian says, Micah, I'm sure you're familiar with some subscription services where gamers sign up to watch some experts play computer games.
Yeah. It's called streaming. It's it's free to watch. You can watch it on all sorts of platforms, but yeah, honestly, I've watched a bit to learn also how they communicate and engage, because everybody can play a video game, right? But how the ones that are successful are the ones that really know how to interact with people through a screen. It's a totally different, style of teaching if you're in a room with someone and you just have a screen visible. So yeah, I'm aware of that, and I've learned some things from them, honestly.
Okay, and there's Brian. Now, Brian is a buddy of mine, and we have lunch together lots in Fort Worth at the grill. And this is kind of how he talks. Brian says, "It strikes me that you are applying analogous, is that strategy, analogous strategies to the TradeStation platform with real and lucrative results." Now, it seems to talks like an attorney. What do you think, Tim? He's right, right? Yeah, that's good. Yep. And Brian's doing really well with that.
What was that word? Analogous?
Analogous?
Analogous. Yes.
Okay, good.
Similar to.
Yeah. Brian, again, you've done a deep dive. You've done a deep dive into learning the intricacies. There he goes again, of the program. Just an observation and a question as to your opinion of the analogy. See what? It's so difficult to talk to him.
No, I feel like
go ahead, Mike. You got that.
It's a closing argument. That's what that is.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. I went through and every time I get on a platform, I go through and click on every single button that I see. I just start at the left side of the screen, go into simulation mode so you don't buy $1 million worth anything, and just click on everything. Even stuff you didn't know you could click on, and it'll do something. Just really know your way around the platform, because I've been hit so many times, countless times by platform issues, by not understanding how something works, by clicking the wrong button first, having to realign. Like I'm sick of it. So yeah, every time I'm even looking at a new platform, I'm in there clicking every single button, trying to figure out how it works.
Okay. Here's Bob. Would love to see the PPT, Micah. I have been through advanced charting, but it's been a while, a long time ago. So more support for your PPT.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't teach you anything about that. It's just saying M1's the white one. That's it.
Okay. Hey, Randy, what are the returns this week?
Okay, for my covered call process, which is a much slower. So for those that don't want to have to do things in 4 seconds and 5 and 6 seconds, then we have the covered call process, the covered call technique. It involves buying an option or a call or a stock and then selling a call against it for the near week. And so we're in and out of positions in a day or 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 days. Occasionally I get into a position on Friday and get out the next Friday, but mostly it's Monday to Friday or Tuesday to Friday or even today to tomorrow. And so for last week, the positions that were closed out, and so these are in and then out within the week for the most part. And so you're back to getting your capital back and locking in your return. So we closed out ENPH, which is end phase, 31.5% return. That was $1.90 per share invested. So these are much less capital required than like buying the stock. And so you're able to leverage your capital up without doing any borrowing. Merck, 81.8% on 55 cents per share invested. Wow. Now that one, and Joe talks about how the covered call process, it's Tim and Micah, you're in and you're out. You're either in or you're out. There's nothing else to do. With the covered call process, we've developed what we call management techniques. So if it doesn't go in the right direction, we have a process that we can implement to continue generating income week by week until we get back out with all of our capital. And so Merck is one of those that it was going up, got into it, but then it went down, and then it started coming back up again. So that was actually in that one for 3 weeks and generated 81.8% return. So a little bit longer in there, but still like over 25% return a week.
And that's because he has all these rules, because when the thing goes down, he started applying some rules and making money as it went down. And then when it went back up, he switched and started making money when it went back up. That's why the return was so cotton picking high. He makes money whether they go down or up. And the great thing, like Mike and Tim are trading options and getting this huge leverage because you're not using margin, and a lot of options cost almost nothing compared to the price of a stock. And Randy does the same thing when he uses, he's doing leaps. A leap is just a long-term option. It goes out there, 2 or 3 years, and it's treated just like a stock. So all his techniques are the same when he buys a leap like that and trades against it. It's pretty much the same thing as with the stock. So does good.
Yep.
So,
They also had GILD, Gilead. They're working on that remdesivir, I think it's called, the drug for the virus. 7.1% return, $1.40 per share invested. IWM, which is the ETF for the Russell 2000, that was only 2.5% return on $1.95 invested. And that was one that I implemented the management techniques because it started going down, and then was able to get all my invested capital plus just a small 2.5% return.
Well, that's a lot better than a mutual fund. Mutual funds still use 7% as their benchmark, trying to make 7%, and then I'm due. But that's all they're trying to make,
Yeah, and the typical out there in the market, the Wall Street thing says, well, if it goes down, just sell it for a loss and move on. And Tim and Micah have to do that because theirs are very, very short term. But with the covered call technique, again, that's what makes it be more conservative, is because we have a long position and we sell a short position against it with the set of rules that we've developed to make it more conservative. So we have processes to keep implementing along the way to work the position or manage the position to generate income and get back to generate all the capital that was invested, get that return. And that sets us apart from any other trading technique, because we can manage a position. We select it with a whole set of rules to increase the probability that it's going to be going up, because that's what we want it to do. When we get into a covered call, we want to be called out. We want it to go up, but stocks don't always do that. And so that's why we've developed the management techniques, to be able to continue to work that position, generate income, and then get back the capital at the end.
Okay, a couple of things, Randy. Number one, this weekend, this 2-day seminar that I do, and they joined in for the first time. We've never done this, and we never had the phones available either. It really went fantastic because we have a lot of blending in now. People doing Randy stuff that are also getting into the micro moment. And then Randy has this segue micro moment technique that's, maybe it might not last 15, 20 seconds, but it's certainly done within a day. And so it's really, really good. But you also announced at that 2-day that we're going to have special pricing, I think, on micro moment, combination micro moment, and some of your techniques. And I noticed some correspondence yesterday between Dirk, and like Dirk always does, he sends things over to Sue Ann and says, here's the link. Would you clean up all this stuff and get it out? So he don't know how to clear up, either. But anyhow, so I think something's coming on that announcement. So that's good.
Yeah.
What's that going to be a combination of?
Well, the special that we announced during the weekend was for the covered call coaching sessions. So every Thursday night. So it'll be tonight. I do it's anywhere between an hour and 2 hours live coaching session for the covered call technique. So for those that are the new, just getting into it, just learning how to do these processes, we have weekly coaching sessions that are available. So we offered a special during the 2-day seminar last week, and we offered a special that continues through the rest of this month for $100 off of the price to subscribe to that Thursday evening coaching session. Now, those coaching sessions, you attend them live, or you can watch, because they're recorded while they're being conducted live, and that recording then is sent out. So even if you're not there, if you have something else that comes up, you're not available at that time, then you can watch the recording, and you send your questions in ahead of time. So I go through those questions, analyze your positions, talk about what the next steps would be, how to implement the different techniques, and then you can watch that on the recording if you weren't there in person. And if you're in there in person, you can still watch the recording as well. So you can watch it over and over and over again to get that training, and that's training that gets to come every week.
Randy, while you were talking, thanks for that explanation. While you were talking, Mr. Tim down there had a couple of sheepish grins on his face. I think maybe he did a transaction while you were talking. Is that true, Tim?
Well, no, I was looking at getting in on something and
Didn't work.
There's a little dip I was looking at and a call I was looking at. But anyway, didn't do it.
Okay.
I'm also
But
getting some.
I did, Joe, when you were talking.
You did a trade?
I did a micro moment trade, 30 cents per share, 3.2% return. And that was only about 45 seconds. So
Fantastic.
Yeah. No, and so you mentioned that there's lots of people that are doing multiple different processes and techniques, and that's the way to do it. If you really want to have a good process of generating income, you can do the quick ones with Tim and Micah during the day. You can do the covered calls, which you can even implement at night. You don't even have to be watching the market during the day to do a covered call. And so you can balance between fast ones and not so fast ones. And that's how the real successful people, they like to learn all the different processes and then implement the best one at the best time.
Okay, great. Here's a question for Roberto. And I don't think I've gone over. It says, good morning, all. Tim, what video, where were you speaking about for showing the TOS platform? Is that available for everyone and posted it somewhere?
I believe we set that up I believe Sue-Ann set that up as subscribers only as well.
Okay.
I believe she privately emailed it to everyone on our list. I think is how she did that.
Yeah.
So.
And another question for Bob is the Thinkorswim platform to the Ameritrade, but it was answered by Frank. I think it says yes. TOS is from TD Ameritrade. So took care of that.
Side note, Randy. So I mean, like doing all the techniques may seem a little bit daunting to someone. So you spend about an hour a day on micro moment, but I mean that could be 30 minutes in reality. What kind of time commitment is yours on a daily basis, so that like if somebody was to do it all, would they? I imagine they're assuming they'd be like working a full-time job. What would that time commitment look like to do both?
Yeah, about a half hour, 40 minutes a day. If you're in, if you're just selecting and managing your own positions, that's about how long that it takes. If you're in the covered call platinum service, then you actually receive, as Joe talked about, those alerts when I'm getting ready to implement a position in my own account. And so then throughout the day, you could look at the market at that time and decide if that's something that you wanted to do. So it's not a full-time job just sitting in front of the computer all day. It doesn't really take that much time.
It just pays like a full-time job. Yeah.
I think that's pretty fascinating, combining aspects of both techniques, because again, I imagine a lot of micro moment people would really enjoy your version of the micro moment where they got a little more time, and that'd be
very true. I didn't think of that.
Yep. I'm excited to see how it finally comes out. Should be here in a few days. Kathy says, Randy, do you still cover the Joe method of dogs of the Dow during coaching?
Yes, that's on the Thursday evening coaching. We teach Joe's technique called Lead the Dogs. And so I'll be going through that again tonight. And so we've got a bunch of new folks that are joining us tonight, coming off that special from this weekend. And and so we'll be going through. I go through every Thursday that extra special covered call technique called Lead the Dogs, and we go through a selection process. And there's always one to select every single week. So not only do I teach it, but then people learn how to do it on their own, and they can do it anytime throughout the week. It's not something like you have to wait till Thursday night, but you get the teaching and coaching on Thursday night, and then you can ask questions if you didn't quite understand something, and I go through it again over and over so that you can learn it well.
Randy brought that up during the 2-day session, and I didn't ever remember even inventing. I mean, I usually take credit for ones I didn't even invent, but I'd forgotten about that one. Fantastic. Okay. Bob Jefferson said, thank you to, I think, Frank and us, I guess. Kathy, Randy, do you still cover the Joe? Oh, yeah, we just went over that. Randy, when you do the micro moment trading, how do you select the strike price?
Well, when I'm doing the micro moment, I use SPX. So the options are a little more expensive than what Tim and Micah use during the day. But I typically am one strike out of the money.
Okay.
On the nearest expiration. So
Basically the same thing as us.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Boy, this working out time pretty good. We got 5 minutes left, and it runs 11:40, so 45 minutes. Which I'm really reminded about that all the time by Marcus, who's been with us as long as Randy. And say hello, Marcus, or sing us a song or something. He has a band.
Does Marcus trade at all, or has he ever traded?
Marcus?
Yeah.
Marcus traded a long time ago, and we've been with his agency a long time, and he went through a period of time that he did, and then he didn't, like so many people, and then they come back. And that was the interesting thing about this weekend. And we had innumerable people that'd been with us, 15, 16, 17 years, and had come back. Did y'all ever read that email I posted over on the Micro Moment Trade News? It was kind of long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic. That's exactly what happens. And I was funny about that was that guy's dad was a broker. This guy talked about his dad, who's since deceased, but he was talking about his dad, and his dad he was a broker with Merrill Lynch and somebody else, and he never believed he covered calls and said it'd never work. And of course, his son did, and now he's still into covered calls and doing very well. And his dad said it never worked. So,
Hey Joe, we've only been working together since 2004.
I'm sorry, what?
We've only been working together since 2004. That's only 16 years.
Oh, 16 years. I'm sorry.
No,
See,
you're right.
yeah,
And I beat Randy. I beat Randy.
yeah, he did, because I started in 2006. So Marcus is actually the elder, elder statesman.
The only person I have Joe, you're the only person senior to me in this whole organization.
and the other thing is that the manual, which we finally got in a digital form now forever, it got so thick and heavy it weighed 15 pounds, 3.5 inches thick. Started off with maybe 10 or 12 pages. I think right now it's got 300 and something. And so we finally got it digitized. And now when people need the manual, Sue Ann just sends it to them.
I think digitized is good because that book is scary.
When you get
that book, you're like, I'm never going to be able to learn this. This is crazy.
No. And it's 300 something pages. You guys, Micah and Tim, it's on the back of my hand. If I haven't washed my hand, that technique's gone. So, that's that complicated. There's we've had our first seminar several months ago for Micro Moment, the first one, and we were supposed to have one in March, but obviously we didn't get to make that because of the virus thing. But we had a good turnout. We limited 25 people. They came from all over the country. In fact, one guy even flew in from Europe, and we had when they come in, we have a cocktail party, and on Saturday night we have a dinner. We pay for all that stuff, and we had a good time. And Micah got in some karaoke with one of our clients, Sean, and it's really, really good. And we had about 22 people. It was a really good seminar. So anyhow, okay, you guys got any final notes here? Let's see. Martha says, "Thanks, guys, for helping me change my life. Following the rules can be tough for me, and we know that, Martha. But when I do, it's a miracle. Thank you." And good, Martha. It's so much fun because this morning we've been going on for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes into the session this morning, Tim and Micah's, and I was just saying to myself, I haven't seen Martha's name. I thought maybe at first I saw her name, but I didn't see a trade. Usually she's there earlier and does 2 or 3 10-cent trades, by then. And I was just getting ready to say, where's Martha? Where's her trades? And whammo, within 1 second after I thought that, before I even said it, pops in 10 cents on SPY, I think, or something. So, Martha.
Yeah, she kills it on SPY for sure.
Yep. And
really,
she's a cheerleader for everybody. Whenever they do good, she always cheers for them.
Mm-hmm. Randy, what time is your call tonight?
The Thursday evening webinar is at 7 p.m. Central Time every Thursday, and that's 8 o'clock Eastern, and way back to 5 o'clock on the West Coast over there in Pacific. So that's the time, and it lasts as long as there are questions to go through. So there's not a set time like this. It says, oh, you got to finish right now. Too bad. We'll get to your question next time. I just keep it going. So sometimes it lasts as long as 2 hours, and sometimes it's an hour and 15 minutes. It just depends on all the questions.
By the time that comes up on Western time, Micah has already been awake probably 25 hours.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, guys, thanks. It's been a great seminar today, and it's great questions, and appreciate everybody. And we'll be back here next Thursday. Don't forget tomorrow. If you go sign up for Back for a Moment and go sign up for Randy's stuff, it changes your life, just like Martha said, and it's exciting. And we're here every Thursday, and we will schedule. We hadn't done one of those 2 days because of all the confusion going on with the virus, and everything in a long time, and but we're probably going to schedule those usually about every 2.5 months. So we'll schedule one here the next couple of weeks for a couple of months from now. And guys, any last words? Nope.
Remember, Mondays the market's closed, so have fun. Take the day off.
That's right. Monday's market's closed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's right.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Yep.
Everybody get your flags out. Post them on your post.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, we'll take full advantage of it here in Washington, where everything's still completely closed.
You can get your mask. You can get your mask with the U.S. flag printed on it.
There you go.
There we go. There we go.
So, okay, guys, thanks a lot. I won't cut it off, and thank you,
Take
Mark.
care.
We appreciate it. Bye.
Have a good